Okay, so we are planning a vacation for our vacation project, and we are setting up a spreadsheet to track our expenses. So I've already got one started just to save a little time. So I put up at the top vacation expenses, number of people. So for our project, it's 4. Number of days for the project, we said 10. And then we're going to set up the little table to track how much we actually need. So there are several different categories. There's like you need your flight, because for this project, it's like you have to go to an international destination, not just here in the US somewhere. And we're assuming that you're not, I mean, theoretically, you could sail there, like you could get a boat and you could go sail. And I would rather do that. But you only have 10 days. So from Texas to get anywhere in 10 days, like to get there and back wouldn't really necessarily be feasible. But so we're pretending you're flying. So you'd have to look for your flight. Accommodations, that could be a hotel or it could also be a house. We'll talk about that in a second. Food, because you got to eat. Outings and fun. So like say you're in Costa Rica when you want to go ziplining over the rainforest, well, that would be in that. Shopping, because you want souvenirs and Starbucks mugs. And then extra type stuff. So if you're some places, depending on where you are, you might want to rent a car. Some places I would not rent a car because you're like taking your life in your own hands just driving there, because traffic rules are really just suggestions. So, but if you were going to rent a car, you would put that in here. So, okay. So the first thing we're going to look at is flight. So I just for fun chose Norway. So I went to Travelocity and I picked some flights. So in this case, my flight's like $1,044 per person. But the way you do this, if I go back to right here, so I put in that I wanted to go from Houston to Oslo, Norway. It needs to be 10 days. Really, I should change this to the 14th because you're losing a day since we're traveling. So if I do that, then I search and I put in 2 adults, 2 kids. So then you go in on this website. Most of them are like this, like you select the flight for going there, and then after that you select the flight for coming back. And of course my internet's a little bit slow because that's how I roll. One of these days it'll okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in this case, so you have a lot to choose from. You have this one, which has 1 stop. You have this one. It doesn't matter. I chose Virgin Atlantic because that sounded cool. So I'm going to put Virgin Atlantic. And it's probably going to tell me that there are rules and restrictions or whatever. That's okay. Yeah, select this fare. So that's only for my trip there. And now it's going to tell me now I need to select my return. So same thing. I'm just going to pick one. I don't want to add a hotel. I mean, you can, but in this case, it was giving me hotels by like the airport. But if I'm going to Norway in February, probably I want something like a little bit out in the country because I want to see the Northern Lights, because that would be cool. Okay, so now it gives me my itinerary. So I'm leaving on the February 14th, coming back on February 25th. It gives you the price per person and it gives you the total price. So like for your website, when we put all this together, you'll want to take a screenshot of this. But for right now, I'm just going to put this in my spreadsheet. So it's $1,094.05 per person. So I go in here, 1094.05. That's per person. Now this one, it says price per day, but it's kind of misleading on the flight. The flight, you're not flying per day. You have one set of flights, right? One's there, one's back. And we need 4 of those. So I'm going to just click on the number of people. I'm going to refer back to this because that way if I change it to 5 people or if I change it to 3 people, it'll update automatically. So then my total price is just going to be this one times this one. Ta-da! Yay! The next one is accommodation. So accommodation is that's like where you're staying. So you could do a hotel, you could rent a house. When I went on to Travelocity, so the same site that I was looking at for the flights, and I put in that I wanted to stay in Norway for this one, because like because of the way the flights are, like if you're leaving from the US going to Europe, you get there the next day. So I left on the 14th of February, but I don't get to Norway until the 15th. So I reserved or I'm trying to look for a place from the 15th until the 25th. So that's what I put in. And when I went to check the rates, this came up. There was a whole screen. I selected this one. I checked it. It's a 3-bedroom house for $146 a night. I think I may need to go to Norway. I'm not sure. This is kind of cool. It gives you a map of where everything is. Like, check it. It's got it. It's got like huge living room and giant deck and outside. And look, it's even got a treehouse. That's what I'm doing. So, okay. And I only need one of these a day, too. It's not like a per person thing. And see, it shows you how many. It's like 3 bedrooms, sleep 6. Okay. So this is 146 a night. So I go back to my spreadsheet and I put 146 per day. In this case, I don't need one for each person. I just need one for each day, right? So I'm just going to refer to the number of days on this one. So you got to use your common sense for these things. So my total price then, again, I'm just going to multiply the price per day times the number that I need. Okay. For food, you're going to kind of look around. There are several websites you can go to. You can just Google the different places. You can see if there are some restaurants in your area, whatever. Lonely Planet has some good stuff. So lonelyplanet.com. Usually you can put in the destination and then they'll tell you kind of what's in the area. Okay. So learn what's unique in, and then you put the place. So I'm going to say, no, internet. Okay, I'm going to put Norway. Explore. Usually I think if you go under destinations, I think it has more for like food and stuff like that. Okay. Switch back to London. Okay, I'm not going to waste time on this, but okay. It's showing me London. Okay, but so it has all kind of stuff. Attractions, experiences, lodging. So you could go through and you could look. There are other places where you could find, like you could just Google restaurants in Norway. But anyway, so like let's say just for the sake of time, let's say I did research and it's going to cost about $50 per person per day. Okay, so that's $50 per day per person. So my number needed, I'm going to need 4 because there are 4 people. And I'm also going to need 10, right? Because it's 10 days. So really, I'm going to need 40 of those. So then my total, I'm just going to multiply this times this. Okay, so we can fill in all the rest of the stuff. So let's say 200. Let's say we're only doing 3 outings. And then let's say shopping. Let's say you want 100. Let's say you want $250 per person for spending money. You might want more or less. I'm not renting a car. So then this, since we're just multiplying this times this on all of them, you can do that. And then, so like down here, well, I'll just put like 150 extra. Just, in case anything happens or whatever. So I'm going to put like, what's this times this. And then for my total price of my vacation, so I'm going to underline that and I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put total because I want to know how much I need to save up, basically, if I don't already have it cash. So I'm going to put some. I'm going to highlight all of these. So basically, if I want to take my family of 4 for 10 days to Norway, it's going to cost me $11,386. So if I know that, and if I don't already have it saved up, then that makes it handy because I can know, okay, well, I have a year to think about this because I'm planning on taking them next year. Then I could say, okay, well, if I put like $1,000 a month aside, that would give me more than enough. So you could break it up like how long you need to save or how much you need to save per month, that kind of thing. Okay, so this is our vacation expense spreadsheet. That's pretty much all you need.